To the receive side now of the Jesan KT7007. I'll just make sure we've actually got something on receive. I'll plug in the extension speaker for a start, that might help. It's one of these radios with slider controls and they're awful. So with the signal generator on 2779125, now I'm going to turn the modulation off, and what I've now set up is what we call a marker oscillator. This one sets at 455. I find it easier to do than 10.695. You can use either 10.695 or 455 kilohertz. The idea is to inject a signal somewhere in the IF to get a beta note, and we'll try and do that right now. Can you hear we've got that beat note? To bring it on frequency, we'll now adjust that trimmer capacitor there. So we've nulled, that's the other side, that's null. That is now on frequency. So next we'll go through the normal kind of lineup, and we start with T1. I'll put the tone back on the... It's pretty insensitive at the moment. That's 1.3 microvolts. Mind you, I've plugged the aerial socket in a bit better. So transformer 1. We've gained a bit there. I can take the signal off a bit. L4. T3. Gained some signal there. Transformer 2. Let's go back to 1. I'm going to do these until there's no improvement. That's now 1 microvolt. 0.9. Now I suspect that I'm going to go to an S9 signal next. We're looking for maximum recovered audio. Got an oscilloscope here with the sine wave, and that's just basically connected across the speaker through the test equipment. And I suspect, I think it's L4, which is just here, is the detector. It is. That's now set to maximum. I'll go back to 1 microvolt. Just see if we can peak these. T6. And T7. It does have an RF gain, and I've just checked that is at full. So that's covered the receive side. It's not that sensitive. It's not the best set in the world. That's 0.3. To be honest, it's not really usable much below 0.6 of a microvolt. But I haven't got the original specification, so I don't know whether that's in spec or not. But it seems acceptable for what is probably a relatively cheap type of set. It doesn't have crystal filters as far as I can see. We've got a ceramic filter for 455 and I haven't kind of spotted where the other one is. Right, so we'll now check the S meter. So I'm going to go back to an S9 signal. We've got S9 is showing us as S5. Now I know that the receive meter is RV1, and RV1 is just, I nearly did the wrong one, is there, is the set for that. So there we go, we've got S9, and I'll just make sure that if we increase the signal from the signal generator, we get plus 30, so that's fine. Just plug the extension speaker back in, and now we'll have a look at the squelch. So I've now got the signal generator down to minimum. Now I'm going to set the squelch to threshold and switch the signal generator back on. 1 microvolt, 3 microvolts, 10 microvolts, 30 microvolts. That's no good at all. So what we'll now do is set what we think is the squelch. That's RV3. Set the threshold once again, see whether that improves it. Generator on. 1 microvolt, 3 microvolts, 10 microvolts it comes in at. It's pretty vicious, but that's the best it sets at. We'll now advance the squelch to full and make sure the signal generator, as we advance it, is receivable. 100 microvolts, 300 microvolts, so it's about plus 30. So that is now working as well as it will do on this particular radio. And that leaves us with one preset that we haven't determined what it does, which is RV201. I'll have to have a look at the circuit diagram. It transpires that RV201 is mic gain. So the one in the corner is mic gain. So I'll make a note of that. That surprised me, you don't often see that. Perhaps there's a model where that's brought to the front panel, I don't know. Anyway, that covers the tune-up of the KT7007. So it's quite a block of flats of a radio, and it's got scan and all kinds of things on that. So for 1987-88 it was quite sophisticated. So thank you for watching. We'll do a on-the-air test in due course.